Welcome, fans, to episode 77 of Rangers Ed. This is your host, Cousin Ed. I'm here with my co-host, Little Ed, and Coach Ed, and our producer, Mikey. What's going on, boys?
How we doing?
Back in business.
Took a
Fans
week
finally
off.
get to see our faces.
Took a week off, and we get to hear about Mikey's little trip into opening night and Little Ed's travels. So what's up, Mike? What was opening night like on that bridge? I heard it was really nice.
Electric. I'll tell you one thing though. The seats where we're at, section 322. So if you don't come up on the 8th Avenue entrance, you have to walk around the entire garden,
Oh,
which is a
geez.
little annoying. But fantastic opening night, which I'm sure everyone saw on TV and stuff. They handed out those bracelets that were like lighting up. Great game to go to.
The question is, did you take people's shirts off their chairs?
I couldn't do that to the fans.
Let me just say this. I've been to probably 10 opening nights. I don't think they've won any, so that must have been real exciting.
Yeah, super exciting. The whole crowd was electric. Everybody, introducing the whole team. I was kind of shocked that they didn't give Trouba his little like moment. I thought Messier would be, I don't know, throwing him something or introducing him somehow, being the next captain of the team, but a little disappointed in that.
Well, Messi's at the ESPN table.
Yeah, they
Maybe
brought
he
out
didn't want
Trouba as the
anything.
captain, huh?
No, I know, but I thought that'd be like some sort of ceremony, some sort of like baton tossing or like passing the torch.
If he wants a ceremony, he's got to do something bigger than just get appointed captain. So, but yeah, definitely cool to see a C on the Ranger jersey again. It's been a few years, and I think he's worn it well so far. So, yeah. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm trying to figure out which of the games that you guys are going to. I'm going to come up to New York for and get tickets into that bridge, join you guys. But I know we'll figure that out later. But we'll make a night of it. Maybe we can have some fans meet up with us at the Garden or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. I heard the seats are awesome. Mikey sent us a picture of the view. I think we got a nice view of the entire game. And I heard the bathrooms right there. No line for the bathroom. No line for the beer or food stand right behind us also. So,
but miles away from the corned
that.
beef. Miles away from the corned beef stand.
This is true.
We gotta walk the corned beef stand off. But yeah, looking forward to many trips to the Garden this year. Hopefully get some nice videos for our new YouTube channel. Because now you see how I tied that in there. So no, seriously, episode 1, this is going to be out on YouTube, which you guys are watching right now. And we're looking forward to releasing the channel, and we're going to do some food reviews at the Garden. I think we're going to get some good content of Coach Ed reviewing the what is it, the short rib sandwich or the pastrami sandwich?
Prime rib, pastrami, corned beef.
All in one night?
No, what do you want me to do? I have a heart attack?
We'll spread them out, and hopefully that'll be some content for you guys on YouTube and some TikTok reels and things like that. And yeah, so looking forward to getting out there on another channel.
Very exciting, Ed, that you do all that stuff, because without you doing it, I wouldn't be doing it.
Well, yeah, that's why we need you to give the content. We need the content from Coach Ed.
I have a pizza review from Joshua Tree out in California, I told you.
There you go. We have one already in the bag. So look out for that. So yeah, real quick. I mean, part of the reason we had the week off, I was over across the pond in England and the UK. Lindsay and I had a wedding in a little outside of Dublin, about an hour outside of Dublin. Congrats to my friends Sean and Elaine. It was a beautiful wedding off on like this private estate or whatever in Boris County, Ireland. And the Guinness were flowing. It was pretty wild, real quick. The actual wedding night was probably from like 11 a.m. until like 4 or 5 in the morning. And the reception itself was from 6 to 8, which was only like first dances and like the speeches and things like that. And then the DJ came on, not the DJ, I'm sorry, a wedding singer or like a whole wedding band came on from 8 to 11. and then they packed up. A
Did he
DJ came
sing?
out.
Did he sing "Love Stinks"?
They sang everything. They were actually very good. It was very entertaining from wire to wire. So then they packed up their stuff. A DJ came out in the same room from 11 to 1. He packs up his stuff. A lot of people think it's over. People are starting to file out. They bring us over to a barn, like on the estate, and we sing Irish, like folk songs and stuff until 4 a.m.
Oh
with,
my God.
with beers and ice, and literally a wheelbarrow that they like wheeled into the barn. And we were just literally, it was the funnest thing. It was like Irish people on the left and all of his American friends on the right. And we were like battling song for song, going back and forth. It was hilarious. So that was a ton of fun. From there, Lindsay and I went up to Edinburgh, Scotland for a couple of days, and then traveled down to York, and then finished off in London. So real quick, I just want to give a shout out to our fan Lee over in England for giving me a quick little tour guide via Instagram DM. So yeah, he helped out a lot, making sure that we saw all the hot spots in London. So that was really cool. Too bad we didn't get to meet up. He was actually going to see some universities with his daughter. So good luck to her with that, Lee. And thanks a lot. So yeah, we had a great time over there. It was a shame. It was the first time. I was telling Lindsay, it was the first time I think in the last at least 5 or 6 years that I missed multiple Ranger games in a row and not being able to watch. I mean, they were on at 1 o'clock over in England, and I don't think I was going to be able to find a bar that had them on at that time. So, and what I was surprised about, I was pissed off that my Fubo wouldn't work. I figured I would just be able to watch the game like in bed for a little while, but I got nothing.
Wow.
But I watched some highlights. I was able to watch the Ducks game, so I think we're gonna have to rely on Cousin Ed, Coach Ed, and Mikey Produces over there for the analysis on those games. But I will chime in on the Ducks game as best I can, guys. But I was only able to watch the highlights and a little bit of the games here and there.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. So it's funny because I went on Mind Your Pucking Business also while you were
Yeah, that was
away.
awesome. I meant to bring that up too.
Yeah, so I went on there, episode 88 on YouTube. Check them out. I got a nice little interview. Coach Ed was supposed to join me, but he got called at work. So when I go on, Jeff, the host, he was a guest for us, for the fans that remember. He came on our show. He says to me, yes, so apparently Little Edge traveling, he's like, I don't know how you travel the first week of the season. I was like, yeah, I mean, Jeff, you went to the UK, it's like it's like I don't know what to say. Like it's not like you went to like Pittsburgh or something, like
Yeah.
You went to Europe, so you'll catch those games. You should definitely watch them.
It was planned for like a couple months, so there's nothing I could do about it. But now I look back, we were actually considering going early and then ending up at the wedding, but we ended up doing the wedding first and then going on the trip after. So if we did end up at the wedding, I would have been able to watch all the games. So looking back, I could have influenced the decision one way or another, but I didn't really think of it when we were making the plans.
Nah, it's all right. So, I mean, a lot of stuff going on, but we're happy hockey's back, and we can finally talk about some games being played in the regular season. I know we've all been antsy, counting down the days with our rivalry tours. So we're finally here. This is technically episode 77. We did some episodes earlier that we didn't do the jersey numbers. It was in the off season. So it was kind of like different kind of episodes. So we're just going to bring up jersey numbers sponsored by Long Island Hockey Company and run it back to a few that we may have missed. This is episode 77. That's Coach Ed holding up his E.R. Molino 77 jersey, the throwback from the 70s. But let's start back 72.
That is a throwback.
Yeah, they should bring those back, man. Those are nice jerseys. So let's bring it back to, we skipped a few guys that are currently on the team. Filipino 72, Tally Kravtsov 74, Ryan Reeves 75, Johnny Brodzinski, member of the Wolfpack now, but he wears 76 when he's up with the Rangers. And some prior guys that we missed also. Keith Kincaid, fan favorite, even though he was a third stringer, 71 he wore. Brady Shea, who was a good Ranger, 76. He got us a first-round pick, and it turned into Braden Schneider, so thank you, Brady. And prior 77s, there's no current 77, but Phil Esposito, Tony D'Angelo, and Frank Vetrano, who returned to the Garden the other night and did his thing as per usual. But
That was a
we knew
snipe.
that was going to happen. So yeah, let's talk about the game. So obviously it's the first episode of the year. The Rangers sit at 3-1-0, 6 points, tied for first in the Metro with the Hurricanes, who are 3-0-0, and good for fifth in the NHL right now. A couple transactions to start the year. The Rangers waived Julian Gauthier, Johnny Brodzinski, Louis Domingue, and Jared Tenorti. Tenorti, the only one who was claimed. He was claimed by the Blackhawks and somehow is playing on their second pair, from what I saw. So the tank is real in Chicago. Jimmy Vesey turned his PTO into a 1-year veteran minimum $750K. And the Rangers also signed prospect Talon Boyko, a 20-year-old 6'8" goalie who plays in the WHL. And last year at 28 wins and pretty good numbers, he signed his ELC and was sent back to juniors. And just today, Ryan Carpenter and Vitaly Kravtsov off the day-to-day list, and Dryden Hunt gets waived. The plan is to send him to Hartford if he doesn't get claimed. By the time you guys listen to this, you might already know if he was claimed or not. But it was just today he was waived as well. So the Rangers are now down to 13 forwards. I think they're down to 13, right? Yeah. So that's good because that opens up a little bit of cap space for the deadline. We'll talk about that a little later. So game one, Rangers home against the Lightning, 3-1 wins. Zibanejad 2 goals, a shorty and a power play. At Minnesota, 7-3 drubbing. Igor Shesterkin got both of those wins. A bunch of Rangers on the score sheet in that game. That was a fun one to watch. And then they jump over to Winnipeg, lose a tough one, 4-1, but it was closer than the score looked. If you watched the game, it was a pretty good game. Hellebuck was pretty good for Winnipeg. And then back home against Anaheim, a 6-4 win. Rangers offense is clicking, firing on all cylinders. I mean, 6 goals, 7 goals. It's insane to see. And boys, I mean, we got to lead off with Artemi Panarin leads the league in scoring with 2 goals and 8 assists. At least he did last night. I think he still does.
Yeah.
And when I looked, I also saw Mika Zibanejad was second in the league in scoring with 8 points. So I think we just got to start with Panarin and then move into Zibby. I mean, Coach Panarin last year with the playoff struggles, we were pretty hard on him for some of his play. He's not perfect out there, but he's definitely got a little jump in his step, probably looking to prove the haters wrong. What do you think?
Well, I think, I don't want to put a downer on your whole point structure, but he's got a few secondary assists. I'm more excited about Zibanejad's start because in the last couple of years he slumped early, and this is only good news for the Rangers if he can just continue a hot streak like this through the whole season. But Panarin, obviously, he's going to get his points. He's going to get his 90 to 100 points. I get it. Laffy, I think, lit up that line a little bit, made that jump a little better on the, to get Panarin going. We didn't get to see enough of Kravtsov, obviously. What do you see? 2 shifts?
Yeah, Kravtsov, 2 shifts on the Panarin Trocheck line, and then he went down with a neck injury, it looked like. They called it upper body, but I mean, Hedman kind of gave him the business. And you notice Kravtsov has like a little bit of a long neck, so I have a feeling like Hedman like pushed it and it just kind of like strained his neck. He does. If you look at him, he's got like a long neck, dude. So I think it like strained his neck or something. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, he got hurt his second shift. Well, his first shift, he had like a breakaway that got deflected by a defenseman. He had a pretty good chance and didn't pull it off. Second shift injured, out of the lineup, misses 3 games, healthy now, and might not draw back in. But yeah, Laffy's plays since being on the Panarin line has, I think, solidified him there, right, Little Ed? I mean, he's going to stay with Panarin and Trocheck for the time being, right?
You gotta think so. I mean, all 3 of these guys have been playing awesome. Panarin, he's on another level with the puck. I feel like this season, he's showing even more confidence than he usually does. He's moving his feet a lot more as opposed to just coasting into the offensive zone. I think that's changing. I think he spoke about that in the preseason where he wanted to become a little bit more of a dynamic player. I think he's kind of feeding off his Zibanejad a little bit in that aspect, and he's making a lot of things happen. But yeah, it definitely helps having a guy like Laffy step up on his wing. And I love watching Laffy play, man. I think he's gonna keep climbing and he's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Did anybody notice in the Tampa game? I know Eddie didn't see it. when the Rangers got the 2 penalties on the 1 whistle and gave Tampa the 5-on-3.
What a
Anybody
gift.
did anybody see why that happened?
I'm gonna guess a Panarin turnover.
Not 1, 2. He had 2 chances on the wall to get the puck out of the zone, and both times he gave it up to the wrong spot. That drives me crazy. So
I did note that too. I did note that he had a few giveaways early in that game. But I mean, look, the thing with Panarin, Coach, I know you're saying a lot of things that are true, but the thing with Panarin is he's kind of is what he is. I mean, it's like having a guy who can hit home runs but can't hit it to left field for a base hit, right? Same idea. Like you're gonna sit there and be like, that's not fundamental. He can't do it. Yeah, but he's gonna hit 50 home runs. So like, let's enjoy those 50 home runs. Panarin is not gonna do what you want him to do out there. He's gonna do his thing.
what? Get the puck out of the zone?
No,
I'm not asking him.
When you're a creative, offensive, dynamic player, you turn the puck over. So he's going to have giveaways. What we want to do is limit those giveaways and have him be, have a sense of where we are in the game. If it's a 2-1 game in the third, get it deep. If it's early in the game, be
that's
creative.
all I'm asking.
Well, he's talking. You're talking about it in the defensive zone.
Yeah, defensive zone.
Defensive zone. I mean, we teach our players that your first responsibility is get the puck out of the zone. If that cross ice pass isn't like 100% or at least like 80-90% for Panarin, he's got to just either chip it out or like I don't know.
But after the
it is
first,
frustrating
my
with the
point is after the first giveaway, he gets it back on the wall and does the same thing.
Same exact thing, yeah.
And then it leads to 2 penalties on 1 sequence. In a game that was only, I think, 1-0 at the time, or 2-1. It was close. I mean, the whole game was close, but
yeah, I mean, look, when you look at the players on the team with the most giveaways right now, Trocheck has 3, Panarin has 3, Fox has 4. I mean, when guys have the puck on their stick, they have giveaways. You know who doesn't have any giveaways?
I don't
Libor
understand
Hayek has none. Zach Jones has none. Ryan Reeves has none. Not because they're good, it's because they don't have the puck on their stick enough and they're not creative enough to turn the puck over,
Yeah, I get the argument both ways, but what is considered a giveaway?
Zach Jones has none?
Did I read that wrong? Yeah, I got him with none here on Hockey Reference for the year so far.
I still don't actually know what that giveaway stat is, but
well, it's when you have the puck on your stick and then you make a hockey move and it ends up on the other team's stick. So it could be a pass, it could be taken off your stick, whatever.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's not like you're hit and then lose the puck. I don't think that counts. It has to be like a pass or they like pick your pocket.
So a giveaway doesn't have to be a takeaway, and a takeaway doesn't have to be a giveaway.
That's right.
Wow.
But it could be both. All right.
But it could be
so.
both.
Oh, that clears it up.
So ultimately, I just think you're not wrong, but you kind of got to just enjoy Panarin.
Look, I love Panarin.
If Panarin leads the league in scoring and gives it away 100 times, like I'll live with it.
As long as the Rangers are winning, but it's just frustrating because again, getting into crunch time.
Yes,
that gets
I agree
magnified.
With
that. Getting into the playoff crunch time, you have those habits and they get magnified.
That's true.
Like I said, I didn't see the first 3 games, so you guys obviously saw every play. I mean, I only saw the highlight plays. They're obviously not going to show his giveaways on the highlight reel. But in the Ducks game, he was flying around, moving his feet, going into the corners and stuff like that. But no, I do want to pay more attention in the defensive zone because, I mean, if that's something he's going to talk about, that he wants to be more of a 2-way player, then that's a big thing. Where when it comes down to crunch time, you can't be creating those giveaways, and that was a big thing in playoffs. So hopefully he learned, and we'll see when they play the better teams. I mean, was he doing that against Tampa?
That was Tampa.
Yeah, that was against Tampa.
Now, Ed, you talk analytics a lot. I talk about eye test a lot, right?
Well, I'm both, but yeah.
No, but you don't. You're more analytics.
I'm both.
So on NHL Network, they had the guy Mike Kelly and Reader on. So the Reader goes, he wants to show this play that the guy makes a drop pass. It was the Ducks, not against the Rangers. Makes a drop pass at the top of the circle. The puck gets intercepted, goes off the guy's stick back behind him, gets intercepted 2-on-1, and I think Winnipeg scores. So Reed's going crazy that they have to learn that that's not a percentage play, blah, blah, blah. And Mike Kelly goes, well, he gives the stat. But you know what? It's fine in the regular season. But if you get in that habit where you could do it and get to playoffs, you're not going anywhere.
Well, I think
So,
I think your point long-winded, but I think your point is that you create habits during the regular season that translate to the playoffs, and I think that is a good point. So yes, I do think that's a good rebuttal to the Panarin giveaway issue, where it may not matter so much right now if he's putting the points up and we're getting wins, but yeah, if he's in those habits, it's going to be hard for him to just turn it off and play differently come playoff time because he's going to be, in that mood.
a player
that
of
mode.
a player of his stature and hockey IQ, I feel should be able to adjust mid-game,
Yeah.
mid-series.
And what's interesting too about that is that line. I made a point of this, and I usually don't look at plus minus. You guys know that, but I made a point of it. Panarin has 10 points, 5 at even strength, and he's -1. And the Rangers have given up, a decent amount of goals, but they've given up 1, 3, 4, and 4. So what is that? 9, 12 goals, and Panarin's -1 with 5 even strength points. So that means that he's been on the ice for 6 goals, right? I mean, that's what it means.
Yeah.
Out of the 12. So yeah,
so put that algebra equation together, and it's
yeah, that line needs to be better defensively as a whole, I think, because Trocheck also on that line -1. Laffy, I think Laffy was even last time I looked. But he might even be +1. I don't remember, but he didn't start initially there, so maybe there was an issue early in the first game or something.
They might be staying out there a little too long then.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but listen, if he's going to put up points, he leads the league in scoring. It's hard to sit here and complain about Artemi Panarin right now. If he's playing like this, I'm very happy. I was worried about a decline in his game, honestly. He also set a Ranger record with 10 points in his first 4 games of the season.
All right, Sam, take it easy.
He did.
We got all those stats every game. Zibanejad's point scoring streak. This guy.
Well, Zippy doesn't have a streak because he didn't put up a point against Winnipeg, but he's been unreal. I mean, he's got 4 goals, could have been 5, and 4 assists. I mean, he's just he's dominating out there. I mean, he literally looks like a top 10 center in the NHL. Like, we're not talking about like, he's a number 1 center. Like, no. He looks like this player that I'm seeing is better than any version of Mika Zibanejad I've ever seen. And he's pretty damn good. And he looks like a top 10 NHL player. Like, I don't know if he can keep it up. So the question is, like, he's been streaky in his career. He usually starts slow, like you said, coach, and then gets hot. So, I mean, I want him to be consistent. You think, and Mike came out, and Mike, it was your prediction, I think, 50 goals this year, right?
No.
I think
somebody's.
Who said
it?
Was it you?
Yeah.
No, I think Mike's bold prediction was Mika gets 50 goals. I think
that was my bold prediction.
I said we're going to have 3 finalists.
I think I picked him for the Hart Trophy.
No, get the hell out of here.
All right, look it up. Didn't you write it down?
I'm not going to look it up.
I thought you wrote it down.
Go back and listen. Just look it up.
You don't have a spreadsheet.
Google it. Google it. Google it. I don't know about Hart Trophy, but I mean, he looks like he could be an MVP candidate if he plays like this. I mean, the question I'm posing is, can he do this the whole year? If he does, I mean, he's going to put up 50 goals. So, I mean, Little, I would start you. Like, do you think Mika has another gear, maybe having tasted the Eastern Conference Finals? He's a little more motivated to come out strong and he can keep it up. I know you're a positive guy, so I'm going to lead with you to bring that positivity into the room to start us off here.
I think he definitely, I don't want to say learned a lesson, but definitely got a taste of what it's like to succeed and do well and kind of be that star. And I think him and Kreider like definitely matured in terms of their careers. I mean, they're both locked into their contracts. They both have a lot to prove or a lot to continue to prove in a big city. And I think he might have taken the offseason maybe a little bit more seriously and got a jump start on working out and doing whatever he had to do, because right now he's in midseason form. And we're not used to this. We're used to saying like, it's just Zibby being Zibby. Like, he'll break out, give him 12 games, whatever it was. This year he's coming out flying, and I don't want to jump ahead, but Kreider's flying too. Kreider looks like a different player after last year. Like he just looks like more of like a presence out there. Like he's just a dominant player.
Kreider should have like 6 goals right
Oh
now.
my God.
Yeah.
I know, you notice him on the ice, like just flying, like just skating around. Like he seems like he's even bigger than he was last year. Like he's just like a presence now. Like you just notice him more. But yeah, that whole line is clicking right now, and Kako too. I mean, if they continue this up, especially Mika, yeah, there's no reason why he can't be in the conversations for Hart, Selke, like we talked about. I mean, if he continues up with the goals and points with those other awards as well. So who knows? The sky's the limit for Mika, and it's only going to keep getting better, I think. Like I said,
right,
I
so
think it's his turn this year, not Kreider, and it was
now-
me. I'm pretty positive it was me who said 50.
All right,
As I said, it's going to be his turn,
Mike,
not
but maybe it
Kreider.
was you. Maybe it was you. So
Why is he downing?
so since you brought the positivity, let's go to the negative member of the group, Coach.
Whoa! I thought you were going to go to you.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
the negative. First of all, I'm the one who said Meek is on
Well,
fire.
Panarin leads the league in scoring, and we spent 10 minutes talking about 2 giveaways.
All right,
in
look
the
at
Tampa game.
the
So,
second.
I mean,
Yeah, but
and you brought that up, so I don't know. Like, I was trying to get excited about Panarin.
I mean, me watching Mika.
Now I feel like he sucks.
Watching Mika come out that opening night game, to
He
me
was great.
the best player
In
on
the
ice.
Tampa game for sure.
Yeah.
He was the best player in the ice.
And
In the Minnesota game too,
He
was
always
awesome.
plays good against Tampa.
I mean, the big question is he has the history of missing like 10 games.
Yep.
Well,
So-
last year he played a full year, didn't he? I don't think he missed anything last year.
Well, but then he had the slump. There always seems to be a little hiccup.
He had 81 games last year.
But the 2 years prior, I think he missed 8 to 10 games, something like that.
It's hard to know.
COVID.
Well, his last
COVID
4
one
years,
year.
his last 4 years, his age 25 season, he played 82 games. His age 26, he played 57, but I don't know how many games there were that year. That was the COVID year. And then the following COVID year,
something.
he played 56. And that was another COVID year. And then last year he played 81.
I remember he had a couple little injuries. Look, I'm
The
all
shortened
for it.
season was like 65 games or whatever it was, whatever they broke it down to, and then the year
Whatever. If he
before
misses
that,
5 games or something, who cares? I get
I'm
your
saying
point.
to me that's the only hiccup that he'll have. I think he's just going to be out there, like we said, like Eddie said, Kreider's clicking with him, and like you said, Kreider should have. It seems like he's snake bit again, like he was prior to the 50-goal season, because he's getting those opportunities, and now they're not going in. So we got to hope he doesn't get frustrated with that. It just keeps going. The thing I noticed with Kreider in the first game, especially, is the back checking, the support for the defense as the puck's going down, what they call that back pressure. I thought he did a great job of that.
Yeah, they have like a new
multiple
term
times.
for it now.
I think it's called back pressure.
How are they just gonna change terms? Like, oh, we have a new term for this, like back checking. You mean that's the term?
Yeah, it's the same shit.
Well,
Anyway,
it's pressure while the guy's engaged with somebody else.
That's like when they have the stat in football where it's like quarterback pressures, but he didn't hit the quarterback, so he's like in his face. Yeah, he's like in his face, but like didn't hit him or something. Stupid. Anyway, Mike, you're at the game against Tampa. I mean, Mika was flying. What was the crowd like? I'm curious when they announced his goals. Like that always pumps me up when Joe Tollison, the PA does Mika. I think that's his best call, Mika's name.
I'll tell you one thing. When they were first announcing the team, at the start of the game, I would have to say that the entire stadium went crazy for Mika more than they did like Igor, Truba, Panarin, everybody. So Mika's definitely, I would say, the fan favorite.
Mika's been a Ranger for 7 years now, guys. 7 years.
Wow.
This is his 7th season with the team, and he's developed before our eyes, blossomed from a young prospect. So I get why he's a fan favorite, Mike. I mean, but anyway, so were they like going crazy on those goals, especially the shorty?
Oh, the shorty, forget about it.
That was a beautiful goal. I've never seen
that was insane.
A first goal of the year that beautiful before.
On Vasilevsky.
Yeah, it's usually like like
a Mark Stoll dump in,
Marek Malik like takes a shot,
and shot from the
it like hits Martin Straka and goes in or something off his skate or some crap. So yeah,
I remember
beautiful
Mark
goal.
Stoll had one first. I think Girardi had a weak one, probably like a wrist shot from the point, like
Yeah,
just
it's
random
usually
shit.
it's like a defensive defenseman who scores always lingering.
Yeah.
He probably had one. But yeah, dude, Mika, insane. But yeah, so part of the Mika success, I think, is this cause and effect here on both sides. But putting Capo Caco on that line, he looks like a way different player. He looks leaner, stronger. I think he changed his equipment too. Like his helmet looks different. He looks more like a pro. Um, he looks unbelievable. I mean, just gonna say he's on pace for 41 goals. Let's just throw that out. But I think putting him with a guy like Mika Zibanejad is giving him an opportunity to put points up and to blossom. And I'm really excited for that combo. I think all three of them fit well together. I think Kako's board play has been fantastic. And before you guys talk about Kako, I kind of want to talk about all three at once so you can lay out all three. Ed, you already mentioned Laffy. Looks great, goal and 2 assists, playing with Panarin and Trocheck. Same thing for Laffy, playing with great players, giving him an opportunity. And Hedel on the third line with a goal and assist also. So 3 of our young guys who performed well in the playoffs and formed the kid line, playing on 3 different lines and continuing to grow and blossom in the first 4 games of the year is positive, right, Ed? I mean,
absolutely. I have no problem with Hedel being a good third line center if he can continue this. Kako, I'm so happy that he's finally blossoming a little bit. I see a little bit of Kreider in him. I think he definitely has more skill than Kreider does in terms of like his hands and
his
I
hockey
guess
IQ.
his hockey IQ, his vision, those sorts of things. But just his size, his forechecking, his boards play, it reminds me a lot of Kreider. So if he can continue that and maybe like throw some net front presence into his game a little bit, I think he's going to be kind of unstoppable, man. If he continues on this trajectory, he's going to be a very, very good hockey player.
you mentioned the net front, Ed, on Kako, though. To add to that, his second goal was him in front of the net.
I was going to kind of save this for the banter, but like, how many replays was it going to take? No one in the arena saw that Kako
I
scored
saw
that
it the
goal?
first replay.
I'll say the second one. I said the second one. I said to Lindsay, I was like, I'm pretty sure Kako got a piece of that. And then they kept on giving it to Zibanejad. I was like, I guess not. Like, no one saw that. Like, no one saw that. Not even
clear.
Sam and Joe. Like,
And then the
no one in the
NHL just
NHL,
announces it later.
Like, nothing. Yeah.
The NHL's
So I
like,
thought
oh,
that was
correction,
crazy.
the situation. But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, he's a big body, great hand-eye coordination. Obviously, you got that skill, and yeah, man. Like I said, if he continues that, it's going to be great.
Yeah,
and it's great to see them, like you said, on the first, second line, not just all succeeding together on the third line. It's nice to see maybe the future a little bit with Laffy and Kako first and second line.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean, but that do-it-yourself goal against Minnesota, where he like did a video game move, went around the net, deked everybody out, cut to the middle, right? I mean, that was insane. I used to do that in like NHL 95. I didn't know that worked in real life. But that is the version, that kind of a play is the version of Kako from the World Juniors when they drafted him. That's why he went second overall, because he was making plays like that. We haven't seen that at the NHL level yet, so this is the first time I'm really seeing it, and I'm excited. I think he might actually break out this year. Coach, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Kako, Laffy, and Hedel so far?
I'm very excited. I mean, Hedel, I'm not seeing much out of other than he got the nice goal, but he played good. He made some good plays defensively, but
he made that play behind the net, Coach, where he hit the guy, separated him from the puck, and then it led to a goal. I thought that you'd be all over that one, but you can't even give him that credit.
My man Heats.
You can't even give him that.
I mean, I'm just excited about Kako. Like Eddie said, he protects the puck so well when he has it on the wall. His
like Yager.
His awareness of where the defenders are is very good, and it's exciting to see. I think he put on weight. You said he slimmed down. They said he gained like 15 pounds.
Well, he looks leaner and stronger.
Yeah.
Not
muscle.
Well, how could you put
leaner, meaning like more muscle, less fat.
Oh, okay.
Like leaner.
You can tell that with his uniform on?
Yeah, you can absolutely tell it from his uniform. The way he carries himself out there, the way he's standing is something's different about him too. His equipment, maybe it's his helmet. Did he change his helmet?
No, his face is cleared up. He doesn't have all the He's got a good complexion now. Kathy gave me the 411 on that.
Okay.
I think it's confidence.
Kathy's hanging around MSG giving Kako facials.
Well,
Walking around with the fogger.
$50.
I mean, again, we talked about it for 2 years. Him and Laffy's coachability. He didn't take that benching and pout. He took that benching as a motivation. He worked hard for the 4 weeks of the off season or whatever it was, and he came back stronger and with a desire to do better. They gave him the chance, and so far, 4 games in, he's showing he wants to do it. So we'll see what happens over the course of the season. I don't see it going backwards with his attitude.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And, it's actually a blessing in disguise because of his struggles. And honestly, the biggest thing with Kako has always been injuries, right? So far in his career. So if he can avoid injuries, that's number one. But his struggles have led to him getting a bridge deal on a $2.1 million a year contract. So if he blossoms now, we got him this year and next year at 2.1. Yeah, he might get paid after that, but that's pretty valuable to have. We need him to blossom now, but during this time. And that's versus a guy like Heedle, who got that same bridge deal and is now just starting to show signs of blossoming, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So it's a little different scenario. Hopefully Kako has put it together. Laffy, on the other hand, look, Laffy is he's just a really good hockey player. He doesn't, and you know what I noticed is like his elite skill is his vision. Absolutely. It's his vision on the ice and his stick handling, but he's more of like a grinder. It's like if Ed, like NHL, like 23, like I would put grinder next to Laffy or playmaker, one of the two, but he's more of like, he's physical. He drives to the net. He likes to get involved. I think he likes to get pushed around a little bit early in games. Like he's a very physical guy. And I think that feeds into him and gets him going, honestly. So I like to see that from him, this being his 3rd year in the league.
Yeah, mute Ed.
It's definitely that leadership coming out and that grinder mentality, kind of like Dustin Brown, captain Jonathan Tays, that
with more
Steven
skill.
Stamkos.
Maybe he learned that from playing on the 3rd and 4th line a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think he's just a gamer. I think that's what it is. I don't think it has to do with any playing 3rd line.
Well, Gallant gave Quinn a lot of credit for developing the youngsters.
Well, what's he gonna say?
He didn't have to mention it at all.
They're playing the Sharks. Quinn's on the other bench. He was the Rangers coach. He's gonna give him. What is he gonna do? Be like Quinn screwed up Elias Anderson and Vitaly Kravtsov, and that's why they suck. Like, no, he's not gonna say that. So
maybe because he played on the 3rd and 4th line, he got that work ethic more than he had in juniors.
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, look, like we've been saying for a while, Eddie always brings this up. Laffy came in, different scenario. It is what it is. It's frustrating at times because you want him to put up points. You want him to play in the power play, but not many first overall picks walk onto a team with 5 players on the best power play in the league. So what are you going to do? Like, his time will come. I think he knows that, and he's just he's got a great attitude. My point was, again, all positive. For some reason, I feel like whenever coach talks about anything, it brings my mood down. Like, I'm sitting here like super excited about Laffy, and now I feel like I think he's doing it on purpose. I'm not sure.
No, I'm not. I'm making a point that I made 2 years ago.
Well, I'm going to make the point that Filip Chytil's playing great. He has no help on his line. He is not
Let's not say great.
He's not in. Well, in my opinion,
let's not say great. He's not a game changer.
He looks physical.
He made one good play.
No, he's playing.
It was probably the 7th goal of the game.
Anyway, he's playing physically. He's not making defensive mistakes. He's playing his role. He's doing it quietly. He's got a great attitude. The team seems to like him. He's always doing like goofy videos and stuff. So I think they like him, probably making fun of him. I don't know what they're doing, but he definitely is good for the locker room. But yeah, I mean, look, if we have a 3rd line center who can put up 30, 40 points and be physical out there and contribute at 23 years old, sign me up for that all day. So
The kid line did get a goal when they were reunited the other night.
At the end of the power play, right? So they did get. They were on for like 30 seconds only. I think they just stayed out there. They're like, no, we're gonna stay together for one shift.
I wonder how Hedo's going to enjoy Phoenix.
When's he going
Chicago?
When's he going to Phoenix for?
At the end when he's a free agent.
I don't want anybody on Arizona. Well, he's a restricted free agent, so he can't just bounce. Anyway, so enough of that. I swear to God, I think if Hedl scored like 25 goals or 30 goals, that you would still be like, he sucks. Like I don't know why you root against certain players.
I'm not rooting against him. I just don't think he's gonna hit that potential that we need. Whatever.
Why don't you just root for the kid?
We have
Trocheck for 7 years and Zibby for 8 years. We only need Hedl to be a good third line center. You don't think he could do that? You don't think he could be a good third? He's already a good third line center. He's probably one of the better third line centers in the NHL already. Okay. So what do you need?
I have to see a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pull up a list.
Pull out the law books.
I'm saying if this is the Hedl, obviously there's question marks. He always gets hurt.
Look, I don't hate him as a third line center.
Right, exactly. So stop trolling.
But we got to see who is he going to. I mean, are they going to put Kravtsov back on that line? I'd be very disappointed if they take Laffy off that line.
No, I think Kravtsov is going to sit until we lose a game or an injury. Honestly, and I don't think that's a bad thing. When Bushnevich came over from Russia, he was very, I don't want to say frail, but for lack of a better word, he got injured and banged around a lot and kept being in and out of the lineup, scratched. So I can see them using Kravtsov in that way. I don't agree with it, but if they're winning and it develops him, whatever, as long as he's got a good attitude about it and gets in some games and gets some chances, I think he goes to the third line. No, I don't think he's.
Who's on the third line now? Hedl,
Gaudreau, and
Blay.
And who?
Sammy Blay.
Blay played a good game in that first game.
I like Blay.
I thought he played
his first game, not the first.
Right. He played it. I thought he played real well.
He flies and hits, man.
His first game was Anaheim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played well.
Yeah, I like Blay. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Kravtsov. But so yeah, that's the question. I mean, with Kravtsov coming back, like, what do you do though? I mean, because I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to be in and out of the lineup, and honestly, probably injured a couple more times. I just think he's probably not physically ready for the league. It appears. I mean, for you to get hurt in your second shift, that wasn't that bad of a play by Hedman. I mean, it was.
I didn't see it as that bad. It was a hockey. Yeah, it was a hockey play.
He was just holding him down. Like, yeah, fine. It's kind of a penalty, but you can't get injured and miss 3 games from that. That worries me.
It's not. Yeah, it's nothing that's not going to happen in the playoffs.
Right, like you miss a shift. Like, all right, maybe even that though is. I don't know. It's just something worries me there. But so, what do you think though, Coach? I mean, you're leaving the top 6, right?
I have to. I mean, like I said, I'd be very disappointed if he pulls Laffy the way he's playing right now.
I mean, could you see him moving Laffy and Kako? Like, if for some reason the offense dries up, you put Laffy up with Zibby and put Kako with Panera and try.
They might just to mix it up a little bit, but I don't see it necessary. I don't know.
Yeah, it's working well.
To me, either one of those lines are a first line.
Right. They are.
So why move it around? You're not punishing the guy by putting him on that line. You're playing with a world-class player, a bona fide NHL player. And it's the same thing. That's a first line on probably 6 or 8 teams.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What about you, little Ed? I mean, would you draw Kravtsov back in, or you're leaving him out? Fourth line? What are you doing? I mean, they're not going to waive him, and they're probably not going to be able to trade him, at least at this point, until closer to the deadline. So what do you do with him?
I would hold on to him as depth and let him keep practicing with the team. He's going to work out and toughen up a little bit. Like you said, he can't be getting pushed around. I mean, I know Hedman's obviously on the bigger side as far as defenseman lineup, but like I said, it's gonna happen in playoffs. It's gonna happen throughout the year, and for him to just go down like that, he's gonna lose his spot. I mean, someone's gonna step up eventually, and he's gonna be forced out. So I mean, he's really got to prove something in practice. But for now, you got to leave him out, and You can't take Kako and Laffy out of those spots. I mean, it's going to be like Coach Ed said, it's going to be very disappointing if that happens, especially the way that they're playing. And even if it dries up a little bit, you got to let them ride it out. I mean, every hockey player goes through a little bit of a slump, and that's part of the learning experience too, where unless they're going to start losing games, 2-3 games in a row and losing and not scoring any goals, fine, you mix things up. But you got to let them ride it out. You got to let them try and gel and just get experience together. And I think it's going to keep succeeding. I don't see it going away.
I don't see Laffy playing with Panarin and it going away.
Yeah,
No,
the
I don't
chemistry's
either.
there. Kako and like I said, Kako and Kreider, the chemistry's there.
Panarin seems
they
to
get-
like Laffy on his line too, which
Yeah. And the same thing with Kreider and Mika. They were very pumped when they were all scoring. They were all getting on each other and stuff. They all seem to be having a great time, and that's obviously what really matters the most to me in hockey.
Why can't Kravtsov go to the third line with Hedel and move Blay or Gaudreau down to the fourth line?
Well, I think that's what I would do. But honestly, again, just I'm not in the room. My assessment as a fan, I want Kravtsov to play because he has more long-term value than Blay or Gaudreau. But I think for now, what's best for the team to win games today is probably to have Kravtsov working in and out, matching him up against certain teams, letting him practice, letting him work out. He needs to hit the gym, and that's okay. He can be on the roster as a scratch and an injury fill-in. Hit
He
the
needs
gym.
to be with an NHL trainer for an extended period of time.
Right. He can play against a faster, more skilled team and let what's get bigger against the Islanders and co. So that's what I would do. But I'm not in the room. I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling that he's not going to draw back in for a few games.
What do you think his attitude's going to be? I mean, they talk about how a lot of that stuff last year was bull crap. So hopefully it's true that it was nonsense and that he's going to have a good attitude. He's going to push.
I mean, listen, I believe in giving people opportunities. So he, whatever happened in the past, you guys know how I felt about it. I think there was blame on both sides. He's done everything right so far since he came this year, right? He has a great attitude so far. He's saying the right things to the media. I haven't heard a peep from him or anything since his injury. So let's see how he responds. Let's give him an opportunity. I think he might respond well if the team says to him, hey, dude, we're investing in you, but you're not physically ready to handle this clearly. So we need to get you physically ready. So come playoff time, you can contribute to the team.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It'd be one thing if he wasn't ability like ready or whatever, but it's really just the physical aspect. Like he can like look at himself and be like, okay, I just got hurt. I got pushed around a little bit and I'm out for a couple of games. Like I blew my spot because I got injured. Like that's gotta be a wake-up call. Like if he's gonna go home and pout back to Russia again, like that's not gonna help him as a hockey player at all. I mean,
I don't think he's
a different league
that.
over there.
Nobody wants to go back to Russia with everything going on over there right now.
No, of course not. But what I'm saying is, like, for him to stay in the NHL, like, there's no way he can't blame anyone except for himself in that aspect. Like, he knows he has the talent. The Rangers know he has the talent. Luckily he got hurt and this happened, and they didn't just sit him. It'd be a different story.
And it's a minor injury too, which is key.
Right.
It's not like a big injury that's a long-term thing.
Well, first of all, about a third of the defensemen in the NHL are like 6'2" and bigger.
Yeah. So
he's got to realize that Hedman's not the only one that's going to be able to do that. And second of all, hopefully Kako says, look what I did. Put these 5 or 10 pounds on. It's going to help you. Hopefully he sees that as a mentor kind of thing. Or Panarin's even jacked when you see him on the beach and stuff. He's got a physique on him. You got to get that strength.
Saw him at the beach?
Well, and the Instagram stuff that Eddie sends over, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Eddie's sending beach shots of Panarin and Coach Ed.
Coach is on the boardwalk with his binoculars.
The only one I remember
down at Brighton Beach.
The only one I remember seeing is Miller on the paddleboard.
My God,
that Eddie sent over.
How about Keandre opening night?
He's a fantastic player, man. He honestly, speak about Hedman, he reminds me of Hedman. And Coach, he had that big hit.
Oh man, he was
where he was battling with Ross Colton on Tampa, a big boy, a big physical fighter, tough player, battling with him for the puck. And of course, they're like 79 against 79. We'll save that, I guess.
The first question I asked Mike when I
it's-
talked to him about opening night, I'm like, how did he look in person? Because he looked on TV
that
like he
hit
was.
on Colton, he threw him like a rag doll, and he's big. So if he adds that element to his game, coach, I was listening to
Oh, he definitely started this season way more physical. He
yeah,
started in the playoffs and he took it right up.
I was listening to I think it was Elliot Friedman, and he was saying that he has a feeling that Keandre is going to he may just be one of those guys that's like super valuable as a hockey player, but just doesn't have like counting stats. So that might benefit the Rangers because if he has like 5 goals, 10 assists or something like that, right? And nothing crazy, they'll be able to keep his contract lower.
He already
But
has 2.
well, I'm just saying it, whatever. The thing is like, he's not a
It's
big
not gonna
point producer
happen.
so far. Yeah. So if his counting stats aren't there, that you shouldn't be judging Miller on that was his point. Like he's everybody wants him. Every team in the league wants him and wants to trade for him. So,
So that's going to bring up his contract right there. So
yeah,
he's well on his way to his 15 goals that I predicted.
I don't know. He's got 0. So how can he be on his
Yeah,
way?
but he's getting the opportunities.
He's on pace for a big fat donut.
I thought he got 1.
No, he's got no
Did he
goals.
get 1?
2 assists.
2 assists. All right.
He'll get his goals, but whatever. The point, he doesn't need to, is my point. Okay, so let's talk quickly about Igor Shesterkin. Not really sharp to start the year, but 3-0. Last year, the opposite. The Rangers looked like terrible, and Shesterkin was all world and carried them for the first 2 months or whatever. Comes out the gate. It doesn't look terrible or anything, but a little problematic. Losing his focus against Anaheim, giving up a couple goals late on a couple flops. I mean, to me, Shesterkin, 935 save percentage last year. It's really going to be hard for him to match that. So I hesitate to say these are like struggles. It's only 4 games, but I mean, do you think he's struggling a little? And are you concerned about that at all? Do you think that the lack of like a workload, if the Rangers dominate the puck like this, he's not going to face as many shots? And do you think that might be actually a bad thing for him?
I think he's just going to have to change his focus. He'll have to adjust to that kind of a situation. I think he'll figure it out. His commitment to training and from what they say on TV, his commitment to the game and to training and to knowing the situation is second to none. So I think he'll figure it out. He'll adapt. And hopefully the Rangers play well where he has that period of time to adapt.
Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree, and I think, or at least for me, I'm still comparing last season to right now, which is a little biased, but I think he'll sharpen up.
Yeah, I think he definitely he was kind of like Lundqvist in a way where he's got to get into a groove and see a lot of shots. So I mean, I don't really see it being a problem. I mean, from what I saw, he was still playing lights out and making the saves that he had to make and still making some highlight saves and not really letting in any weak ones. So I think he'll be okay.
Yeah,
I was a little shocked. I was a little shocked he let in that breakaway.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was just a little disappointed. I think the first game he was good. He didn't really face as many shots that were dangerous as Vasilevsky did. Vasilevsky was awesome, and then against Minnesota, we put up a 7 spot, 3 against on 36. He made some big saves in the second period against Minnesota. So I liked his game mostly there. I wasn't so concerned about the goals. But the game against the Ducks, it's 5-2 Rangers. It's 2-0 Rangers. He gives up the 2. Then they go up 5-2 late in the second. I want the door shut. Like that door's got to be shut. Like going forward into the season, I want that to be a 5 or 6-2 win with Shesterkin locking it down.
Yeah,
it's
but
not like
are the goals they're scoring a result of not good enough team defense? And they're giving the other team too many opportunities.
Well, the Zegras goal was Schneider's fault. Definitely. I thought he didn't stay to with his man. He fouled the puck, and that led to a breakaway with one
on
of the
weak side.
skilled,
Yeah,
it was one of the most skilled players. But the fourth goal, I forgot who got it. Shesterkin, he was like out of position, and then he like flopped over to the circle, and it was like It's just one of those things. It's a 6-3 game at that point. Fine, he gives up the third goal, whatever. Rangers answer. And then, he gives up this fourth goal. And I'm like, dude, this game's not over yet. Like, come on, Igor. Like, you got to shut that down. The Ducks are not a good team. We're playing a better team there, that might be a 6-6 game or something, the way Igor played. That's all. So I think he's struggling a little compared to last year. I think it is the workload. I think he's a guy, he likes to feel the puck. And you're right. He's going to have to adjust. I think that's a fair point.
I think Benoit Allaire will figure it out with him. I'm confident. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I think so. I think Igor will be fine. But okay, so look, last thing here, and then we'll move into some more fun topics. But the Rangers power play, 33% to start the year, 5 for 15. They were 3 for 4 against Anaheim, so it's a little bloated. But 5 for 15, 33%. It looks unstoppable. Even when they don't score, they get 3 or 4 looks on every single power play. Panarin, Trocheck, Zibanejad, Fox, and Kreider. Is there a better power play in the league right now? What do you think, Little Ed? I mean, there's some really good power plays out there. I mean, you could probably put a lineup of 5 together on some other teams to match that, but I just feel like the way they move the puck and their feet, I've never seen a power play like this for the Rangers.
The biggest thing is what you just said right there, that they changed from last year, is moving their feet a little bit more. I mean, the fact that I think we kind of talked about it last year, where we were kind of arguing about where Zibanejad should be, what the best spot for him would be. And I think the answer to that is there is no like best spot for him. I think the best spot for him is moving all over the place and kind of being a distraction. The other night he scored from one side of the ice and then also scored from the other, so things like that. I think them rotating and switching positions and kind of throwing in a different format here and there, or a different lineup, whatever you want to call it, I think that's going to be huge to continue success. Because I joke around about it with my college buddies, like with Ovechkin. It's like, how does he continue to score from the same spot over and over again? And like teams just don't catch on to it. But I feel like you have to be a special type of player for that to happen. And I don't think Zibanejad's quite there yet with his slap shot. I don't think it's really hitting at the notch that Ovechkin hits at. So I think being more of a dynamic power play, at least like I said, if he scores 1 goal from that spot, don't just sit there on the next power play. Try something else. Try a different play and just keep moving things around and giving the puck to Trocheck. And you gotta catch him by surprise here and there.
Yeah, I noticed a couple times, like you said, Panarin sets up on the right wall, Zuby on the left, Trocheck in the bumper. We talked in the past about having a lefty shooter on that side, and we like that. But I see why now, with a better bumper, meaning an improvement on Ryan Strome, Trocheck. I see why they set it up their way and what they're actually trying to do. Much clearer. And I get it. I think it gives 2 one-timer options for Panarin, really, or 3 if you include Fox.
Yeah.
So a lefty in that spot isn't going to be able to one-time a Panarin pass there. He's going to have to catch it and release. So I get it. But I noticed Panarin ended up on Zibby's side, like you said. They're moving around. They're giving different looks, right? Panarin went over to Zibby's side. Zibby went over to Panarin's side on one play. Penalty killers are prepared for that Zibby slap shot, right? So
right
now they're like, what the hell? What are they going to do now? So, yeah, they're just so creative out there. I mean, Coach, have you seen you've been watching longer than me. So have you seen a Rangers power play this good before?
Well, think about what you're saying. You have Fox, Panarin, and Zibanejad on a power play. You have Trocheck, who's probably one of the best face-off guys compete-wise in the league, in the top echelon. And then you have Kreider, who's probably the best guy in front of the net.
Right.
So you have 5 guys
that fit roles.
What is the team killing go? Who are we going to cover? Because if you notice what Zibanejad does is once he knows they got him covered on that slap shot, he cheats down to the goal line. Then he goes cross crease to Kreider.
Yeah,
that's where he was getting his shot. So they're reacting to whatever the other team is doing. They're not forcing it. Sometimes Zibby forces it, in my opinion, a little too much on that shot. But I think he's setting up for that other little play. He sets up for that. So the
kind of baits them.
Right. Then he
Yep.
goes down low to Kreider. You got Fox, wrist shots to Kreider in front of the net. There's just so many options.
Yeah. No, I
Work of
agree.
art.
That's a good point about the adjustments that Zivy makes. I think he drives the power play, right? It's either
I mean, you
setup.
got
It's a
Fox up
setup.
on the top. It's like
He's like the
incredible.
target. Yeah.
That goal, that Kreider goal in front, like you said, it was a cross-ice Panarin, beautiful saucer
Oh,
pass, cross-ice to Zivy, and he didn't shoot it, right? He went cross-ice to Kreider. And then there was another time where he blasted it, shot it wide, but same play, but different. Zibby drives that power play. I think that's pretty clear. I mean, he's the one they wanted on his day. Well, it starts with Panarin or Fox, two of the best playmakers in the league, regardless of
right.
position, and finding him. And he's just got to move around until he's open pretty much. So.
Now, I'd like to know the stat on how many faceoffs Trocheck won on the power play, because in that Tampa game, I know he won a few. Even though they didn't, I don't think they did get a power play goal in that game. But in the first two power plays, they had the puck in Tampa's zone like for a minute 50.
Yeah,
It was
Mike,
incredible.
see if you could pull that up. Face-off percentage for
I'm
Trocheck on the
curious
power
to
play.
know, because I noticed they had possession a lot.
I don't know if that stat's available on the internet like easily, but see if you could find it. I think it's a good point. But yeah,
I mean, in the Ducks game, they lost a couple of faceoffs. I remember got cleared down right away, but I think he did real well against the Tampa. That was noticeable to me.
All right, so let's let's just give a little shout out here before we move into the banter. So Zach Jones, Braden Schneider, third pair. Hayek played one game. Just first impressions on how they're looking. It's pretty much a true rookie, and Jones played a handful of games, and Schneider, 20 years old, second full year in the league. Coach, we'll start with you for impressions on that third pair. I mean, do they look like a liability? And they're making some mistakes, but you happy with it so far?
I didn't see any glaring mistakes. I think I saw the Schneider play you're talking about. I think he was relying more on the wing coming back on the weak side, and it didn't happen. It was a mistake on his part for sure, because Jones would have had him. He got a little over aggressive on that, but I thought he played well in the Ducks game. He was flying. He was down by the net twice, I think, and he had scoring opportunities. I thought he threw some good hits. I don't think he's missing a beat, really. I thought Jones was playing real good. I think he only took out Jones because when we were watching the game, I pointed it out with Mike. I'm like, look at the size of Winnipeg. Their forwards are big. So I think they made that adjustment where they said, let's put Hayek in. They got some big boys up front. Maybe he'd get outmatched a little bit. I'm guessing, maybe not. Maybe a back-to-back game they wanted to give him a rest. But other than that, I mean, I'm more than confident with them two back there.
Well, Coach, we talked about Hayek drawing in and playing, 30 games or something, and Jones playing 50. So I think it was just kind of give him a game and
at
whatever.
the right time.
Mike, what did you think of Schneider and Jones? I mean, you saw him live over the bridge first game. I mean, I thought they had a good first game. I thought, I think Schneider's been a little inconsistent, but he's got no memory, right? Like when he makes mistakes, goes out there and plays great next shift. No issue.
I was gonna say, if I had to pick who's playing better between the two of them, I would say Jones was so far. But you can't say anything bad about them. I mean, we kind of said that Schneider might have a slump this year, so kind of makes sense. But I absolutely love the way Jones is playing.
Yeah, dude, he's fast, man, and he's got great vision. There was he was out there on the power play that one time. I think it was the Minnesota game, and we were up like 7-2 or whatever the hell it was. So they throw Jones on the power play, and he was just flying around the ice, throwing the puck hard, tape to tape. He's got a lot of skill. He's going to be a fun player to watch with the Rangers or wherever.
Yeah, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
He's really good. He reminds me of Torrey Krug, but like super skilled, a super skilled version of Torrey Krug.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to put up those numbers, but he's pretty good out there. Yeah, for sure. Ed, what'd you think of Schneider, his first 4 games? It's definitely something we should watch and pay close attention to, I think.
I think he's not really much of a presence. I think he's still trying to settle in a little bit, or at least by game 4, that's what I saw. But I don't really see them being a liability. I think they're doing they're just being consistent. They're not trying to do too much. And I don't want to say they're afraid to make a mistake, but they're not going out of their way. They're not trying to do like flashy plays or anything like over the top right now. Like I said, they're just still trying to get a feel for each other, getting a feel for the NHL, and they're learning. And they're not making any huge mistakes, and that's the biggest thing. And like you said, there, Jones is able to recover. Schneider was always able to recover last year when he made mistakes. And you said it before, Jones has zero giveaways. I mean, for a defenseman, that's pretty important. And he makes a lot of good passes out of the zone. I made a point to watch both of them last night, and I didn't notice anything bad. So I'm going to go with no news is good news. And there
The
wasn't
only
anything
thing last
like
night
I said,
was
there
that
wasn't anything too flashy either. So
it was just that one play by Schneider where he followed the puck instead of staying with Zegras because they had the other guy over. I think it was Jones. They had the other guy over to play the middle, and he let Zegras sneak in behind him. Other than that, I didn't see. And the thing is, like, I can live with it in that game. It's 6-2 or whatever, becomes 6-3, 6-4. Next shift makes a great hit, gets the puck out, like nothing happened. At 20 years old, that is amazing to me. I mean, at 20 years old, like I don't know. I don't want to say weak minded, but a lot of people are. It's hard.
Not mature, not mature.
Right, like it's hard when you face adversity to rebound. Everybody goes through that at that age, and to see him quickly rebound like that and look, eat the mistake, essentially. He eats it and he just moves on. And I think that's going to bode well for his development.
And believe me, the coaches see that. They probably look at each other like, can you believe the shift he just had after that last shift?
Yeah.
Because you notice things like that. Coaches definitely notice things like that.
Yeah, so then you approach him in more of like a teaching manner and less of a scolding manner because he made a mistake, so you can teach, develop, and you don't have to worry so much about getting him to get his head straight.
I'd be very surprised if he made that mistake again right away.
Right.
It may happen again, but he's aware of it. He knows exactly what happened. I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, he's good. So, Mike, let's go to you before we move on, actually, on one more thing. Revo versus Marcus Foligno. After Foligno hits Miller. I don't know if you saw it. You were in Europe. But
I saw the highlights for sure.
He beat the hell out of Marcus Foligno. And we always get on other teams for fighting guys when they throw hits. And really, Foligno just hit Miller and like cut him. He didn't do anything dirty. And he had to fight Ryan Reeves after that, Kudos to Foligno for doing that.
That was a heavyweight fight, though. That was absolutely beautiful. A couple of weeks ago, I sent Little Ed a picture of Ryan Reeves. I don't know. I think the Rangers were doing something, and just the size of his hands in that picture is just like absurd.
The one from behind the glass?
No. This is just a regular picture of him just like standing with the team.
They were posing at like a charity event or something.
Yeah. And I just told him, I was like, dude, look at the size of his hands. Like, they're just ginormous. So for them to like come out and like show his fist closed, I can't even. It's probably getting hit with a sledgehammer or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. He's a monster for sure.
It's crazy.
So, all right. Shout out to Revo, first fight of the year, and kudos to Marcus Foligno for fighting him.
How about How about that Ducks game? That guy White, the defenseman on the Ducks. It seemed like they were like attacking him. Reeves nailed him. Blay nailed him. Like 5 guys in the first period threw bone crushing checks. I almost felt bad for the guy.
Yeah.
The guy took a beating.
That's true. All right, let's move on. Let's go into the broadcast banter. The Coach Ed favorite. So I sent 2 versions of the outline to you guys, and I got no comments on it. But what I really wanted was a comment about the second version I sent, and I want to know if you used that one or if you used the first one. Mostly because the broadcast banner section, I expanded to a full page for just Sam Rosen in the second version, because there's a lot. And I don't know. I know Coach Ed likes to handwrite his notes for the episode. So I figured if he's writing these in, he's going to need
a lot
space.
of room for that one.
So I don't know, Coach, you want to start us off with the big one? I know everybody is all over Twitter. Everybody saw the big one from Trocheck's goal
Wait, which one?
against the Ducks. First goal of the game.
Oh,
God.
Frank Vetrano scores.
He goes goal. Frank Petrano.
That
And
was
then he
unbelievable.
apologizes for like
And then Joe goes,
you don't know
"It's
how
all
much
right."
I wanted it. You were watching that on delay.
I
I
know.
wanted to tell you right away. I'm
You were like, wait for it. Wait for it. And then and then Joe goes, "It's all right, he's on your mind." And then he apologized to Trocheck. Like Trocheck's gonna
Joe made
watch
him
it.
do it
like,
again, though, didn't he?
yeah, no, he did
Yeah.
it again. I don't know if he made him, but yeah, it was funny. That was really funny. I can just imagine Trocheck watching that after the game and just being like, "What the
Yeah.
like what?" But yeah, that one was
Yeah,
unbelievable.
his first goal just ruined.
Yeah, Coach, what else you got? I'm sure you.
I got
hopefully
the
you put some notes.
Vetrano. I have all Ducks. Obviously, the first game was on ESPN. I have all Ducks ones because the Winnipeg game we watched on mute in the bar. Glove save. No. Vetrano goal. I mean,
Yeah,
the puck
he
clearly
missed
went
that.
in and out.
In and
He
out.
missed that
yeah.
one, yeah. Yeah, he definitely missed that. He thought he saved it because Shesterkin whipped his glove up, but he just missed it. You see Vetrano after that, he skates by the bench and he like smiled to the team a little bit. I'm sure there's a little moment there.
Oh
of,
yeah,
like,
he's smart. Someone said something for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually mixed it up a little with Zibby and Kreider, which he was playing with them last year, so that was a little weird. But I got one from the Minnesota game. So Keandre Miller, obviously, is from Minnesota. And they mentioned that his family was there, and then he had to give out 50 tickets to the game, and they're going on about this for like 5 minutes, right? And then Joe's like, I spoke to his mother last night, and she said X, Y, and Z. Like I don't remember everything. But then Miller takes a shot from the point. Kreider tips it in, and Sam thought Miller scored, so he's like, "That'll make the family happy." He's just like, "Dude, that was deflected in by Kreider."
Oh my god!
And he definitely thought Miller got the goal.
He missed like 4 out of the 7 goals announcing them.
That's
Yeah, I know.
unreal.
Did you see the thing? He said he's going to stay on though. He's still as long as his health permits, he's going to keep doing it. Which, honestly, be careful what you wish for. Because Sam he does a great job. Obviously, he's got an iconic voice. But
I mean, what are we going to talk about if he retires?
Well, then it's just if Giannone does it, we're just going to be here complaining that Giannone's terrible. And at least Sam is at least great with like gaffes. It's like different. Like, he's a great announcer with some gaffes that we can laugh about, whereas Giannone is just like, I'm going to fall asleep. I don't know. I can't.
I got one for Valley during the Minnesota game. It was during the first intermission.
Valley, this is a rare one.
Well, I wouldn't really call it banter, but he made me laugh. He was super excited after that first period. He's like, "Why are we even playing 82 games? Just give him the cup."
Yeah, I mean that was a dominant performance. So, good stuff there. I mean, look, Sam had a bunch, but let's just move on. We give Sam the business, unless you guys got anything else.
No, I got 2 Joe Micheletti ones.
Go for it.
Against the Ducks, Gibson went behind the puck to play the net.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like Joe's worse than Sam.
And then he goes, this was a good one. You guys had to catch this. On Laffy's goal, they give the goal, the 2 assists, and Joe goes, if you're giving a 3rd assist, Capo Caco gets one as well. Like, where is that from?
Yeah, Caco made the play, and then it went behind the net, and then it went to someone else. Yeah, I saw that.
He goes, if they're going to give a 3rd assist, then Caco, what?
If they gave a 3rd assist, I think Adam Fox would have like 150 points.
Forget it. Jesus.
He gets so many 3rd assists. I catch it all the time. I'm like, dude, he doesn't get a point there, but that's another play that he created. Anyway, that's funny. Micheletti though, yeah, not the strongest. Like, honestly, I haven't caught the pregame, so I haven't heard his like I've been super swamped, so I haven't seen like his Taco Bell takes or like, this guy's the best one of the best in the league at X, Y, and Z. I haven't heard them. I don't know if you guys caught any, but
No,
I'll try
I
to keep an
haven't
eye out.
caught I haven't caught any of those, but you guys look in the pregame, like at Mike, did you see like Sam Rosen talking to him? He's so excited he can't get the words out, and his eyes are like bugging out. And then Micheletti starts talking, and his face just compresses to normal again. He's like looking at the camera with his eyes bugging out. Oh, it's just comical to me.
Coach is here on he's doing a review of appearances as well
Oh
today.
God, it's just funny. Watch his eyes when he starts talking.
No, he
in the
does. He
beginning.
gets excited. He like nods.
And Mika
And-
Zibanejad,
Yeah.
4 goals in the first.
And it's funny because they're so close to each other. So it makes it funny. If they were like this or like farther away and doing it, it wouldn't be as funny, but he's like yelling in Joe's face. And I don't know how Joe does just start laughing, honestly. But anyway, all right. Let's move on. Let's move on into Coach's Corner with Coach Ed. I think he actually prepared a discussion today. So we're moving in a more positive direction this year. Coach not winging it.
Well, I got yelled at. I got yelled at that I better be dressed and prepared for this
We're
episode.
making big moves this year.
Yeah,
Coach. Big moves.
Shirts during the episodes. Like we got some rules this year. So, Coach, I don't know if you had anything that you wanted to discuss, or if you saw the question that I had, at least, because I never coached. But it's interesting to me that whenever a team is blowing out another team and they get a power play, I look at that from a coach's perspective and I try to say like, well, what would I do? And in the past, I've advocated for in those situations, put Laffy and Kako out there, give them that time because the game's over, it's blowout, whatever. And you made a point and said one time, I remember, no, like the power plays in a rhythm, like you want them to keep playing and get into a rhythm. If they're struggling, it's good practice in the game, right? Or if they're hot, you want them to stay hot. So that was kind of like your response to why not to do that. But I noticed against Minnesota, Gallant rewarded the PP2. They started out the power play, and then after they were done, instead of putting out Mika and Panarin, he put out Carpenter, VC, Miller, Zach Jones, guys who typically are fourth liners or not power play defensemen. So, is that rewarding them, or do you think it's not running up the score? What's the thinking there from like a coach's perspective? Why to do that? I think it was great. I think it was a good move, but I'm just curious what you think Gallant was doing.
I think that's probably exactly it. I think he wanted to give those the PP2 the time to see what they can do for a little bit of game experience. And I think it's probably a combination of both. He might have had some kind of a relationship with the other coach in the past that he wanted just to, give him a little break if the game was out of hand at that point. So,
well, he's an old school guy, Gallant,
yeah,
right? So
he's a respectful old school guy. I think that's probably what he did.
yeah, I think it's also giving those guys rewarding them because all those guys
definitely
had a great game. They all had a great game. VC played great in that game. He had a couple back checks where he actually picked people's pockets. He broke up a play on a 3-on-2, also coming back. Carpenter struggled in the preseason, but he's been solid. And obviously Keandre and Jones, is a power play guy. So I think he's also rewarding them, right? I mean, just saying
agree.
like, hey, you guys are playing great. We're winning big. Go try and get some points. Go try and get a goal. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give Mika and them a little rest too, so they don't need to log 24 minutes in a 7-3 game. You know what I mean? So why do it over the longevity of the season? 2 minutes off a game adds to a full. Could be a full game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it definitely has a lot to do with the time of the season it is right now. I think a little bit maybe mid-season, end of the season, you're riding your first power play, giving them more practice, giving them more time. Obviously, if you need a goal, you're leaving them out there. I think now it doesn't matter as much, and especially when you have a lead. Might as well give them a shot. And they're obviously a little bit more mature now, too, so he might feel like they're ready.
Yeah.
Maybe in the past, he just felt like they weren't ready yet. So this year, they're definitely making strides. They're showing a lot more confidence with the puck, a lot more eagerness when they don't have the puck. And that's two things you definitely need on the power play.
Yeah, for sure.
Which
I
we
like
struggle
them.
to teach our kids as well. Eagerness when you don't have the puck. You have to win those battles all the time.
Yeah, those minutes add up, you know. I mean, throughout the course of a year, giving Zibby and Panarin that time off on that power play, maybe not a big deal, but that's, you know, 2 less minutes they played in that game. And you do that again in a couple of games, like those minutes will add up throughout the year and maybe keep them fresh for the playoffs. So I don't know. The other thing, coach, that I noticed is Fox is penalty killing. And you know, we've discussed this on the pod before. I mean, do you think he should be penalty killing? Where are we at? Why is Gallant? Do you think he's so adamant to get Fox on the penalty kill still?
I don't know. It's a little bit of an issue with me. I don't think he should be out there. Maybe not all the time. Maybe sometimes. I don't see the need for it. I think they have the horses to kill a penalty where they don't need to put him out there. So I don't know why. I'd love to have that discussion with him, just to pick his brain. I wish one of these clowns would ask him that question. I don't know.
Do you think it's because Schneider's 20? You think that's
I
it?
think Schneider has killed. We've seen him kill.
It's mostly Trouba and Fox, from what I see. But
I mean, why can't Keandre be out there? We talked about a big body, long reach.
Keandre, Lindgren, Fox, and Trouba. I think Jones. I haven't really seen Jones and Schneider on the PK much. I think Schneider was out there once.
Again, we talked about just what we just said with Zibby. Take 2 minutes a game over 80 games. That's like 3 games of time.
Yeah, I mean, Fox should be out there. You know, I will say one thing on Zibby Shorty. Maybe it wasn't Zibby Shorty, but there was a play. One of the goals, Lindgren. It was like just off the PK, Lindgren to Fox, and then he had like a breakout pass. If we're down a goal, you put Fox on the PK, right? If it's tied, you put him out there. If Trouba takes a penalty, you put him out there. Like, but if it's
If anything, like you just said, put him at the last 30 seconds of the PK, where the guy's going to come out, he can make the play that he needs to. But I don't see the need for it. And
well, let's make a note of that next time. Next few games, let's see on the PK. Let's know what defensemen are out there when they're out there. Let's kind of pay attention to that because I'm curious if he is doing that, if he is riding him in the last 30 seconds, because I didn't note it. I just saw him on the PK. I don't remember where he was in there, but that makes sense, right? The transition from PK to even strength. Okay.
Now let's look at this also. Last year in the playoffs, I know Fox had a good playoff overall, but it was kind of slow in the Pittsburgh series, and we all kind of accused him of being a little tired. And that's big. They got lucky in that Pittsburgh series in a lot of ways. Fox didn't start off strong in that series. So I think he needs to rest more. So we'll try to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I think we should note that for next episode. We'll bring it up because I want to see how they're deploying the defenseman on the PK in a more structured way. So we'll note like who starts the PK, right? First, who takes the penalty? If it's a defenseman, that could affect it. So if it's a forward penalty or Jones takes a penalty or something, it'll be easier to assess what Gallant's thinking is really going on. But
now my coach's corner topic was the back-to-back games, the second game against Winnipeg. Had no problem with Halak playing. I thought he played fine. My issue was I feel that on the back-to-back games, when you have that mental fatigue, it more hurts you on defense than it does on offense as the team defensively. And that's where I think they made some mental mistakes. Offense, they were getting their chances. Hellebuck played a great game, but defensively in our zone, that's where they had some mental lapses. And that was a little, I want to watch that on another back-to-back game, see how they do.
Yeah, well, I think I think the initial point you were making was that you have no problem playing Halak in the game. The question becomes, if that's the case, if defense is where it suffers the most in a back-to-back, why not go with Shesterkin on the second half of the back-to-back since he's your number one and start with Halak on the front end? Maybe because Minnesota was a better team last year and they kind of think they're going to be better. So they went with Shesty against the better club, but you know, I think that's a good point. If that's the case, you know, Coach, would you consider playing Shesty on the second half of a back-to-back versus the front?
I'm not going to blame it on the goaltending. I'm going to blame it on the team as defensively. I thought he made some big saves. I thought he played a good game.
Yeah,
I
30
didn't see,
saves.
I didn't see any, play like what the hell was he doing? I just thought that they left a few guys in the wrong spot and they got some snipers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, for the fans out there who are like, oh, 4-1 with the backup in. I mean, Halak was positive on his goals saved above expected. You know, he saved above expected more than half a goal. So that's a good start. You know, that's a backup goalie. So last year with Georgiev, we were looking at like -8, -10 as the season progressed. Every game was -1 goals above expected, -3. So we're in the positives with our backup. If he stays in the positive, even if it's only 1 or 2, that's a positive thing. I think that's going to only lead to more wins as the season goes on. So you make a good point, Coach.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's move on to our stars of the week.
Give me 5 minutes so I can finish.
All right, let's start offensive player of the week. We'll start with Mikey. I never start with Mikey. So because he's so quiet, I always forget. Mike, offensive player of the week, dude. This is a tough one. You got 2 choices.
I don't think it's tough at all.
I'm limiting you to 2 choices.
I'm gonna give it to Mika Zibanejad for obviously all the reasons we were praising him this whole episode.
Mika Zibanejad, I like it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we went through it already. 4 goals, 4 assists, just a complete dominant force out there. Coach, who'd you take?
Mika, power play, goal, shorty, even strength, the whole face-offs, just dominant out there.
All right. And Little Ed? You're muted, buddy.
I'm the only responsible one. I went with the Breadman. From what I saw in the Ducks game, like I said, he was just dominant, moving his feet, controlling the play. Obviously, his goal was beautiful. Yeah, I just saw a lot in that game.
Yeah, I mean, look, Panarin leads the league in scoring, obviously, 4 games, nothing crazy, but I gotta agree with Mike and Coach. I think I just think Mika is just he literally looks like a top 10 center in the league, which if that's the case, this team can go really far. So if he plays like this, he's gonna win a lot of offensive player of the weeks from me, no matter how many points Panarin puts up. It's just a different look to Mika's game. So
yeah.
Let me just say this. Panarin has 10 points, 4 secondary assists. Mika has all primary assists or goals.
It's fair.
Well, a lot of Panarin's in fairness.
I'm not saying they didn't mean anything.
No, listen, I think that's a little bit disingenuous because Panarin has a lot of secondary assists on the power play. For example, Kreider's goal was a Panarin saucer to Zibby to Kreider in. Panarin gets a secondary assist, but he made that whole play, So I think not every secondary assist is created equal.
I didn't say it was.
Right. So I'm not going to judge Panarin
I'm all for giving a guy credit for making the play before it happens. You know that. I'm just making a point. That's all.
No, I know. I just don't think Panarin is getting 10 points on secondary assists. He's creating offense. Like he's dynamic out there. It's different. But anyway, yeah, Zibby, I agree with you in that Zibby is, he's the catalyst right now. So let's see if that continues. But all right, let's move on. Defensive player of the week. We'll start off with our defensive coach, Little Ed. Start off with our defensive player of the week.
I went with Keandre Miller.
All right. Keandre.
Yeah, he's just showing some dominance out there, physical play, joining the play on the offense, doing literally everything he can out there to just contribute to the team. he's playing awesome. I hope he keeps it up. I hope we have a big problem on our hands when we have to pay this guy because they got to lock him up soon.
Yeah. No, it's going to cost a pretty penny. I'm hoping they can bridge him at around 4. I'll take that, but it's going to be tough. He's a stud. Coach, who'd you take?
I got El Capitan.
Troops.
I went with Troops. That game against Tampa, I think he logged more minutes than Fox that game, the stat was. I just felt like he came out, got psyched by that game, by the announcement, the whole thing. He's taking it to another little bit of a higher level, and I think he's every game I think he was involved, involved in the offense, pushing to get some shots in front of the. I don't know. I see the Rangers defenseman in front of the offensive net. I think way too much, but they're all getting involved.
Dude, they keep commenting on that too. Like that's banter. We missed. That's banter.
Yeah.
Every single time the Rangers D is in front, they're like, oh, they're not supposed to be there.
Lindgren's there all the time.
Oh my god.
Lindgren and Fox are always around the net. They're always around the net. And Trouba in that one game, you're right. He was like, yeah, I know. Whatever, they can get back.
But you never see them get beat by doing it. So they must be doing it at the right time. I don't know what it is. You never like what happened there.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought Trouba played a good all around 4 games.
Yeah, I like Trouba's game right now. I like the pick. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I'm on the Trouba train also.
All right. I'm with it.
The one time I don't pick Trouba.
I know. Wait till you guys hear my pick. You ready for this? I took Jimmy Vesey.
Wow.
What?
I took Jimmy Vesey for 3 key back checks that I noted. I honestly didn't think any of the defensemen stood out to me defensively. I think, Trouba and Miller were good, so I like those picks, but Fox made some mistakes. Lindgren looks hurt or something. I don't know what's going on with him. But he's all right. And Schneider and Jones, they're young, but I think VC, if he can just own that 4th line role and the coach deploys him in that way, he kind of reminds me of like a Tyler Mott. He can take that role for $750K instead of the money Mott got. So I'm going to give him a shout out. I'm critical of him, but I like him in the role that he was deployed in. So give him that. And obviously Igor wasn't good enough to get it. So that's really where we are. No one's going to give me any flack for that.
I don't hate the pick, but I think Trouba or Keandre played well enough to get it. I would have gave in that situation VC the key contributor award, but that's all right.
All right. Well, we'll get to the key contributor award and you'll see my pick for that. I could troll you on the key contributor. I'm not going to. I'll tell you when we get there. All right, let's go to the highlight play of the week. Coach, start us off. What's your highlight play of the week?
I was going to give it to Laffy's pass to Fox on the weak side on that nice goal, but I have to give it to Zibby's on the shorty with that backhand over the shoulder of Vasilevsky, top shelf.
Same. Mike, what about you?
Put me down for 3.
Little Ed?
I went with Miller's hit on the 2-on-1 where he just dumped that guy.
That was good too.
Yeah, I just thought that was great. Showed his toughness a little bit, stuck with him. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be interference or something like that, but it was clean and he just dumped him, not letting anyone by.
That was good. Perfect. I like that when Keandre is playing like that.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So now let's go to the Jesper Fast Key Contributor Award. Mike, start us off, Mike. We got a Key Contributor Award here.
I'm going to give Laffy Taffy some love here. We said it all episode, but him playing with Banana right now, clicking, flying. He's one person I would love to see throw the gloves down and fight. To be honest, by the way,
he had the one fight. Didn't he have the one fight last year or the year before? I thought he had a fight.
Super physical. Absolutely love him. Laffy Taffy, key contributor this week for me.
You just like him because he's got those Mikey P rosy cheeks.
I went with Capo, who I think is heading towards bigger awards in the future. He spent a lot of time in the doghouse in the past, or not in any of these conversations. And I just thought, for all the reasons we said earlier, that he was really important, especially to Zibby, getting offensive player of the week. I think a lot of that has to do with Kako's play, and vice versa. I think his play has a lot to do with Zibby's too. But I wanted to give him some love. So, Little Ed, what about you?
I went with Vinny Trocheck. I think he came into the team and he filled in kind of seamlessly. He's contributing with faceoffs, points, obviously keeping Panarin feeling comfortable. So I think that's big. I think a lot of people were worried about that. So started out the year strong with Vinny T.
All right, I like that. Coach, we gonna go 4 separate players, or you pick one of those 3?
No, I got Trocheck as well. I know I talked to Mike about that first game. He did start off a little slow and a little unnoticeable, maybe, other than his face-off prowess. But I think after he got comfortable out there, obviously the power play unit took off and he got to put up a few points. And I think he's going to be in full swing. I thought he was a big part of this 3-1 run.
Yeah. All right. I like the Trocheck pick. I think he took over Strom's spot in the power play, like you said. So I think that in and of itself is enough for it. All right. Let's go to Coach Ed's copyright Doghouse Award. First of the year. Nobody's in the doghouse, right? Or who's left over from the doghouse from last year?
Had to be Heedle for me.
Yeah, I want to take a look. I want to see who Coach had. Who'd you have in the doghouse last year? Let's see.
Well, then we have an end of the year award, the Doghouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We did. And who'd you put in? I don't even
Had to
remember.
be Heedle.
I didn't write it down, but I do have Coach Ed in episode 69 had Heedle in the doghouse. And then I had it empty. Mike also had Heedle. And then Little Ed had the jalapeno fries at the Garden. Dash Heedle.
We will not be doing a review of those fries.
I'm not eating those ever again.
Yeah. That was
yeah.
tough.
So
Well, maybe I will.
So, Coach, I don't remember. I don't remember what you picked in the playoffs or your end of the year. Honestly, I probably should have known that before coming in, but I don't recall. So let's just say Heedle's still in the doghouse, right? So now is Heedle out of the doghouse, number 1, and then who's going in the doghouse?
Heedle is out. He played good enough to get out.
So he's completely out, not even like a couple paws out, like fully
I'm
out.
giving him out. He played a good played a good 4 games. He's circling it like he does the net.
Like a dog looking for a place to pee.
And I got Vitaly Kravtsov in the doghouse.
For getting hurt.
I'm shocked by that. And why is he in the doghouse?
For the softness. He played in the NHL for what, 20 games? How many games that 1 year?
Yeah. Okay.
Goes to Russia. Should have figured out that I need to be a little stronger, but probably just danced around the ice over there like Oksana Bayul. Instead of building his body up and getting ready to come back and prove everybody wrong. First game, second shift, bang, he misses 3 games. I don't know. That's a little soft to me.
Can't hate the pick.
I mean, you make a good point, and I also took Kravtsov. Again, not for getting hurt, Little Ed, but not for that reason. But frankly, it was a combination of factors. One, I just don't really know who else to put in. I thought mostly everybody played well, so it's hard to really put someone in the doghouse. But also, yeah, I mean, I think, the kid's coming in with a lot to prove, and for that, he's got to be a little stronger. I
Well,
agree
then
with
you are
Coach.
putting him in for getting hurt.
No, it's not for getting hurt. It's just it's not because he got hurt that he's in. It's just I'm a little disappointed that he's not more physically ready. He's 22. He's not like 19. There's a difference
Right.
in that, I think. But I do
Definitely.
think a lot of times with these Russian guys, when they come over, it takes them a little longer to mature physically. Remember Bushnevich? He was not always, they called him American Book, or whatever, Bush or whatever, when he put on the USA jersey at that time. That he was a little bit of a physical player when they traded him. At the time that they traded him, he had peak developed physically. So that took time. It took 3 or 4 years. So I think with Kravtsov, hopefully it doesn't take that long. Because then by the time he develops, we'll end up trading him for a 2nd-round pick and some scrub 4th liner like we did Bushnevich. So, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, Coach. I wouldn't say soft. I would say more so that I'm just a little disappointed that, he didn't hit the weight room a little harder. What about you, Little
That's
Ed?
the definition of soft.
I know, but I'm not gonna say soft. That's all. What
I'm
about you,
going with
Little?
him. I'm going with the same thing. I mean, he had his opportunity and he kind of blew it. I mean, I'm sure he'll get another opportunity this season, if not within the next couple weeks. But if he's gonna be like that, he's got to be more shifty. He's got to be able to avoid those hits, make different plays, get rid of the puck faster, whatever the case may be. He's either got to adapt his game or he's got to get into the weight room. So we'll see what he does. Like I said, he needs more time with an NHL trainer. They obviously train differently over here than they did in the KHL. I mean, there can't be any secrets there. So
And
we'll
is
see
he
how he
he
responds to this.
is Heedle and the jalapeno fries out for you?
Yeah, we'll take no. The jalapeno fries are forever in the doghouse.
Yeah,
That's
they're
what
up on
that's
they're on the
that's
top
what that
shelf in the
yeah.
doghouse.
That's what you got to eat when you're in there if you're really desperate.
All
Because
right.
those things are rough.
All right, Mikey, who you got in the doghouse?
So Heedle's out of my
Heedle's out.
doghouse.
All right.
I gotta agree with Coach Ed. He definitely played his way out. I was going to leave it empty because I don't think anyone's playing that bad, but you guys are kind of convincing me to put Kravtsov in there.
Well, go with your gut, Mike.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it empty. You can't punish somebody for being soft.
Mike showing a little mercy. Wow.
Wow.
Of all the people to show mercy. I'm just kidding.
Injuries happen. You don't know what happened.
No, I
We
agree.
don't know. Injuries happen. So
I agree. I was hesitant to put him in. That's why I said it was a combination of the fact that I would have left it empty if I didn't pick Kravtsov. So I do agree with you on that. But yeah, I do want him to be a little stronger. So I like the pick, Mike. I like it being empty. So it's interesting. If Kravtsov, he's in 3 of our doghouses. If he doesn't even play in the next week, it's gonna be hard to take him out of the dog. He's gonna be in the doghouse until he gets back in and actually contribute something. So it's
Mike got a little crowded.
he might spend a little time in the doghouse.
He
We'll
might
see
have a
who
little. He might have a
we'll
little
see who joins
roommate.
him. Yeah, we'll see who joins him next week. All right, ready for some trivia.
oh yes, I am ready. You guys ready?
So hold
Ready.
on a second before we start. Let's remind the fans that I am in the lead in the cumulative trivia at 21.5. Coach Ed at 14, Little Ed at 12.5. Just throw that out there. And I
What
also
do you mean?
won.
That's over the last 3 seasons?
That's our total so far. Yeah. That's the cumulative. So we started the trivia in episode 27. And the last one we did was episode 70.
And I'm ahead of Eddie.
You're ahead of Eddie by 1.5.
Wow.
But in fairness, Coach got a couple of freebies. He got a 2-pointer, 2-pointers, a 1.5, and he also got one when we had a guest on doing it. When actually I was right and Coach was wrong, so there was a little discrepancy there too. So
There's an
I don't know.
asterisk.
Yeah, there's an asterisk. But last year's season standings, I had 12, Coach Ed had 8, and Little Ed had 3. So looking forward to season 3 trivia. Let's see if anyone can beat me this year. I'm sure you guys want to. All right, Mike, hit us.
Who leads the team in face-off win percentage after these first 4 games?
This is going to be a tough one.
Is there a minimum amount of face-offs?
No, just who leads the team and face-off win percentage.
Right. So somebody could have taken one face off and won it and be the answer. That's kind of.
Is it a center? It has to be a center.
He doesn't want to give us any hints. All right, I got my guess. I'm good.
But that only backs you up, Ed. That's why I'm saying. If a guy comes in, the guy gets thrown out, and he wins it. He's 100%.
I know.
It's not somebody who took one draw.
Okay, that would be.
That's all I'm asking.
That would be lame. Is the only reason he's saying it. It wouldn't be your strongest trivia question if that was the case. But I think I know the answer because I think I know it.
I chose this trivia question because that was something that the entire Garden was talking about opening night. Oh, this guy Trocheck, the face-offs are doing so good.
Who'd you?
Little Ed's got Trocheck.
Filipino, no way.
No.
I can't see what your answer says.
Carpenter. Coach Ed's got Carpenter.
The big F. Filipino.
I knew it. I knew it.
Win percentage.
Gotta love it.
Wait, what did you have, cuz?
Filipino.
You had it?
Yeah.
My boy Heats.
Leads the team 55%. Trocheck second, 53. Mika at 52%.
I had it because I was like, there's no way it's gonna be Trocheck. It's too obvious. And honestly, I didn't think of Carpenter. So I just
how about in that Tampa game? I think the Rangers won 10 in a row.
Yeah.
Some stat like that they said on TV. I was like, wow.
Yeah. That's all right. Starting off good here. Starting off the season good. I know Mike was pissed.
I think he looked it up. I saw him looking at the screen.
That's okay. I was looking at the Rangers Ed spreadsheet, entering my totals and my victorious points. But anyway, good start for me. But yeah, good question, tough one, and I think it's funny that the answer is Heedle, and I think it's a good question because of that. I was thinking outside the box. I'm like, there's no way it's going to be Trocheck because it's obvious. But anyway, good question, Mike. All right, boys. I think that's going to wrap it up, man. Good episode back, a long episode, but we're just excited. We got a lot to cover, and we're going to come back, dropping another episode next Thursday, right? Cover a couple games here. I think we got some good ones coming up. Home against the Sharks. David Quinn coming back to the Garden. I'm sure he'll get booed. Then we face Johnny Gaudreau and the Blue Jackets on Sunday. John Davidson coming back to the Garden for that one. Then we face Alex Georgiev coming back to the Garden against Colorado on Tuesday. So 3 games with returning people that have been involved in the organization recently. And then we get the Islanders. So good little run here. And then we play at Dallas. So we'll face Nils Lundqvist in that game, who already has a power play assist on the year, by the way.
And we already faced Strome.
And we faced Strome and Vetrano. So they're just starting. And Tampa, we just lost in the Eastern Final. So
and we faced Zuccarello.
And Zucchi. And what about Winnipeg? Pionk. All right. So all these games have some kind of meaning. Today's NHL. But
are there any ex-Rangers on Tampa still? Or
ex-Rangers on Tampa still? What do you mean?
Well, McDonough's gone.
McDonough's gone. I think that's it.
No, Miller was traded. McDonough was traded.
I'm just trying to think. I'm thinking.
So Miller traded. McDonough traded. Shaddy went to Anaheim.
So they're all
Girardi retired. Gone. Yeah, they're all gone. Cali retired. Yep, they're all gone. Thankfully.
Tampa Bay Rangers are done.
Yeah, that's weird. It's interesting. We
traded the Carolina Rangers.
Traded Miller and McDonough to them in one trade, and they traded both of them, but they got 2 cups out of it. So anyway. All right, boys. Good episode. It's good to be back on the mic. We will get together next week and talk some more hockey, I'm sure.
And now we're on the screen. So everyone go subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, dude. Exciting stuff. So look for, what's the YouTube name?
just Rangers Ed Podcast. Links will be in all of our bios on Instagram and everything. So check it out there. Just search on YouTube Rangers Ed Podcast.
Yeah, we'll
Hopefully
put some
the first
clips
episode
together.
will be up this week.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
How about a little shout out to Stony Brook Hockey winning their first game in 3 years?
Yeah, let's go.
That's
No big
awesome.
deal.
Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm sure that has a lot
Was
to do with
it a
with your
forfeit?
coaching.
Was it
No,
a what?
it was not a forfeit.
Oh my god.
All right,
All right.
boys.
We'll talk next week. Let's go Rangers.
Have a
Let's go
good night, boys.
Rangers.
Love you
Love you
guys.
Love you guys.
Let's do it tomorrow night.